Late last year, Mayor Adams and Governor Hochul teamed up to unveil their vision for a new New York. And one of the proposals called for the creation of a new position at City Hall called the Director of the Public Realm. Here's what that means. The position is described as someone in charge of a centralized and holistic approach to public realm policy, public communication, external stakeholder engagement, and the coordination of all city agencies engaged in public realm projects. I'm still not sure I know what the job is, but it was certainly music to people's ears at the Municipal Art Society, a nonprofit that advocates on issues of urban planning and design. It wants this idea of somebody who can make sense of something like what we see on the screen now. This is the graphic the Society published, which shows which government agencies have jurisdiction over which projects. Sometimes as many as 4 agencies can be involved in the same project at the same time. With me this morning, Elizabeth Goldstein, who's the president of the Municipal Art Society. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
You wrote an item for the Daily News in support of this idea of someone to oversee the public realm. What we're really talking about here is all of the spaces that we have access to and thinking through how those spaces are best used.
That's correct. So we have streets, we have parks, we have squares, we have all kinds of things which fall into the public realm, really public spaces of all kinds.
There's, you know, in hindsight, probably not enough of that in New York City. Sure, you've got gems like Central Park, you've got spaces like Times Square, which have to some extent been repurposed and pulled back from just being an area for traffic congestion, and we've won back some space for other purposes there. But this can be anything from a neighborhood park to a massive project.
Right, absolutely. And one of the reasons MAS and all of our partners in the Alliance for Public Space Leadership have felt so dedicated to the creation of this position is because there's real equity issues in open space in New York. If you live in a community of color, you have access about 34% per capita to someone who lives in a white community, and that's really something we need to correct.
And I feel like this city has not historically been good at looking at the bigger picture. You'll see a development on one block without a lot of sense of what is the context of that in the neighborhood? What's the context of that on the neighboring buildings? Could this person, if this position has influence, get into issues like that?
Well, we really hope that one of the key things this person will do is really think about a plan for all of our public realm. So as particular developments happen, whether that's in Midtown or whether it's in a local community and neighborhood, that they'll be thinking about what all of the connective tissue of those developments, meaning the street, the experience as a pedestrian, a bicyclist, all those things, what that experience is going to be like, and be aspirational about that.
Yeah, I hope it's well implemented and not just another layer of government to oversee these projects.
Right. Well, of course, that's always a concern when you add a new thing in government. But the reason we don't think that is likely in this case is because there are so many agencies that touch the permitting process. So if you're the local community group at the 34th Avenue Open Street, for instance, you're often going to multiple agencies to try and get things done, to get your permit issued. And we're really hoping that this office can do things like make a one-stop shop that actually reduces that bureaucracy, especially for the applicant and the person who's trying to put on a performance in their local community or bring a recreational activity to their local street.
We will be watching it with you. Thanks for coming in this morning.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We'll take a short break and come back with our top headlines on Mornings on One.